Thank you for listening today on Revealing Wholeness, sponsored by Infinity Whole Health. Check out our website at infinityWholeHealth.com, where we are revealing the eternal in each individual, the infinite in the individual. The creativity is made manifest. Limitation is let go. Now, here's your host, Dr. Troy Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness. This, I'm going to put a disclaimer on this one. If you have not listened to part one, you need to stop the recording and go find part one to why do I keep getting the same crap in my life? It really is important that we start from a foundation, because this one, what I'm about to tell you today, can be very irritating to the mind or very liberating to it. And so if you haven't listened to one, you're like, I'm going for it anyways. You go for it. But really watch your head on what it kind of judges as we go through the next few minutes here, because this can be a difficult pill to swallow. And I say that as now really taking charge. We're getting ready to reverse a major premise that the world will hoist upon you. And so the world has this thinking. And this is what it is. It seems that the world determines what you perceive. So as we walk through our day, it's like, oh, I just witnessed a motor vehicle accident. Or, oh, I just witnessed dropping my keys. And there's gravity, and that really upsets me. And, oh, they just made a mistake on my order and my coffee, and I can't stand this flavor. Or, this breakfast was horrible. The milk was rotten, or whatever. It seems like the world determines what we perceive. Now here's the kicker, and I need you to listen up on this one. What actually happens is it is our thoughts that determine the world we see. Okay, I'm going to say it again. It is our thoughts that determine the world we see. It is why two people can view the exact same thing, but one gets a positive experience and the other gets a negative experience. I've hit around this many times on these mental podcasts, as I call them. And the best way to approach this is full responsibility for everything that happens to you and around you. And you might think, what? I'm not responsible for witnessing that motor vehicle accident that happened in front of me. You can think that, but remember, you determine the world you see. Your thinking determines the world you see. So if you're harboring negativity, you're lending to the situations around you that come out quote unquote negative. But if you're positively thinking and you see that motor vehicle accident, and let's say you lend your positive mental perception and mental ideas out to everybody that's in that situation, whether they know you're thinking positive or not, on a spiritual level, they will still feel it. And so what if all of a sudden it totally quells the whole situation, and actually they both view it as the best thing that could have ever happened to them? It's no longer seen in a negative light. It is our thoughts that determine the world we perceive. And so you cannot say this enough to yourself. If I take full responsibility for everything that happens around me and to me and in my own mind, you will be amazed at the wonder and the joy and the peace that will come upon you. But if you realize this, but you still continue to think negative things, you will only continue to bring negative types of events into your life. So if you're looking at stopping crap in your life, and like I say, this title caught your eye, and so you're listening to it, I'm assuming that you're wanting to get rid of that crap. And so it now takes a lot of diligence by you watching your thoughts all the time. And man, are they slippery. From one who's been doing this for 20 years, they are slippery little suckers, let me tell you. I monitor my thoughts a lot. And I'll even go in and say, okay, what's my dominant thinking right now? And I'll just listen. And I'm amazed by what still pops into my head that I thought I had dealt with many, many years ago. Now, giving this much time to your own thoughts, seems like tedium. Oh, I could never do that. I got way better things to do in my life than that. Well, I tell you, if you don't like what you're getting, you can spend no better time than watching your thoughts and undoing them step by step by step. And I've done this over podcast after podcast, and one of my favorite ones is what you're getting what you want? And if you're listening to this, the obvious answer is, no, I don't want crap anymore. And so if you don't want crap anymore, and you keep thinking those things, you must halt that process by asking your own head, is that what you want? And when you shout out no, and then you got to have the follow-up question, which is, what would you like really? And as you expand upon what it is exactly you want out of life, what you want in a spouse or a relationship, or maybe you don't even want a relationship. What do you want out of a job? Or maybe you want to run your own business, or maybe you just want to play video games, or maybe you want to travel, or whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you love. Put your mind there, and what is the best scenario that you could paint for that life that you want, that you believe would be wonderful for you? Now, here's the great thing. As you divert energy and passion and emotion towards that thought, you start to pull it into your existence. And it won't happen in a day or two if you've spent years traveling down the wrong track. It takes time to slow that train down that weighs, 100,000 tons, and now try to turn it onto a different track and go the other direction. Just know that this is not an overnight thing. Some of you may be poised. You've already been doing some work on it, and you find this process very easy, and you watch your life change very quickly. Well, good for you. It's not happening for a lot of us. It takes time. I've watched in my own life where it took almost 3 years to stop the train at age 30 of my negative thinking constantly, and now go the other direction, where now I mostly have great days. In fact, I can't remember the last time I did not have a great day. It doesn't matter what happens in my life, because the events of my life don't determine how I get to be and how the joy I get to experience. So as I took responsibility more and more for my own thinking and started really putting that better thought out there, I watched things change slowly but surely. For most of you, that's what it's going to be. But for some of you, lucky for you, it's going to change quickly. And that's awesome. I don't dislike you because you get to change fast. That's okay. I'm in it for my journey, and my journey is important because each step along the way gets me more and more clear, and that's what I'm looking for. And so my gift to you is that you would be clear. So one of the best things you can do is, doesn't matter, you're going to take responsibility for everything. And watch your mind come in and say, well, I'm not responsible for that. It doesn't matter. When we view everything is within our power, we then begin to take responsibility, and now we begin to forgive the right person. Because when somebody else does something that, quote unquote, we believe harms us, we seek forgiveness from them because we've blamed them. But the moment that we get ourselves clear and realize that I'm responsible for everything that happens in my life, now guess who's the only one to blame? Me. And I don't want to blame me anymore. I'm going to start telling my head what I want better in my life and start seeking for that rather than the crap that I keep thinking. And so the forgiveness now becomes self-forgiveness. You know what? I forgive myself for whatever responsibility and ownership that I took part in this particular event that happened to me. I'm not going to blame. I'm going to stay home right inside my own head and forgive me and start freeing me from my guilt, my shame, my condemnation, all the things that are lies, and start really stepping into my own innocence. Because as you take control of it, you now don't allow people to guilt trip you or put shame on you or put pride in you or whatever it is that they want to perpetrate towards you. You begin to have a much greater sense of peace with the world and with people. And now you're not trying to get things from people. You're simply trying to allow people to give you a blessing, which is what we all want to do. I want to bless you immensely. How can I do that for you? I have a specialty that I do and that I love. Well, how can I bless you with that? Everybody is an integral part. And so if you're feeling really down and feeling even suicidal, I hope this is an uplifting message to you, that you do have some responsibility, and that, you know what, you do have value because you have something that somebody needs. And if it's only one person, that is worth it. And if somebody tells you that it isn't, don't listen to them because they're a liar. And so find what you love and what you're passionate about and what your contribution is to the world. It's needed and wanted. So I hope that goes deep today. Watch for little things like, in forgiveness, where we really don't want to accept it in ourselves, is, I'm a bad person, or people have told me that I'm a bad person, or my mom said I'd be worthless, or my dad said I'm trash, or whatever, or an aunt or an uncle said things that were just not true. Those are things that are in there. And as you ferret out those memories and those beliefs, you can begin to change those belief structures. Number one, by taking a good hard look at it, forgiving yourself for ever believing them, and believing that could be truth, that you could actually allow another person to put that in your mind. And if you're wondering how that happens, go back and listen to March last year in 2019, the Santa Claus principle. And so it'll kind of explain it a little bit. But we believe a lot of really crazy things that were put there unbeknownst to us. But we believed them, and that's the important part. So you can begin to forgive that part of you that believed that was true, that you have no value. But that is not true. It never will be true. And thank God for that. And so I hope that hits. And I hope that hits well, and I hope that really clears some things in your own mind, and that you become a lighter, freer, healthier, more vibrant person, which is what we want on this planet, for sure. And until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach Dr. Munson at 360-893-8586 or email him at chiroman@dr.com. That's chiroman@dr.com. Check out our current workshop schedule on Facebook at Infinity Whole Health.